We're gonna go.
All right, mate.
So, how have you been? What is going on?
I've been well, thank you. What year did you go to ACM? What year were you there?
I did. It was. Do you know what? I found. I don't know if you can see it down there. See that little ring binder down there?
Yeah.
That's my ACM folder.
Fantastic.
So yeah, it was. I dug it out. I found it about 2-3 weeks ago.
Yeah.
And yeah, it was 2002, 2003.
Oh my God, that's like
So,
22 years ago.
Yeah, 23 years.
Okay. Wow. Okay. So I think since then, God, so much has happened. So I basically started doing a lot of cover bands, like blues rock cover bands, kind of playing around the Guildford area. About 12 years ago, I started working in the West End. So I've been doing a lot of that. Did a show called Sunday Afternoon, Kinks and Ray Davies thing.
Yeah.
So that's kind of, and I dep on various things now. At the moment, I dep on Back to the Future and Mrs. Doubtfire. So there's a lot of that.
Awesome.
And then still teach at ACM. I do private lessons. I do these workshops with a company called Guitar Breaks.
I've seen them.
Yeah, so that's a lot of fun. Ian's a good guy.
Yeah.
That's about it, really. Just busy being a parent, in life and all that kind of stuff.
Yeah.
How about you, man?
Do you know the similar kind of thing? There was a lot of tribute band work, a lot of cover bands, a lot of functions, a lot of weddings, a lot of teaching. And I started doing sort of theatre shows about a year ago.
Oh, cool. Okay.
So yeah, I've done Legally Blonde a couple of times.
Is that what you were doing in Southampton?
Yes, I did a week of Legally Blonde, which is the third time I've done it.
Okay. Cool.
I don't know if you've played that. You played that show?
No, I haven't. I heard, is it quite difficult?
It's a nightmare.
Yeah, I know. People told me it's a bit of a roast. Okay, yeah.
It was, when I got the pad, so I remember from one of our first sight reading classes that we did at ACM, we were like learning how to read in like D flat and A. I'm like, how the fuck? No one's going to give us anything in D flat. First fucking song, I open it up. D flat. I'm like, you bitch. No, A flat. I was like, son of a bitch.
Yeah.
But it is, it's like there's so many tempo changes, there's so many key changes.
Yeah.
The playing with the dialogue and the underscore is just it's full on.
It's intense, isn't it? Yeah.
Yeah. And there's mandolins, there's guitars, 12 strings, acoustics.
Yeah.
So yeah, the last time I did it, I was the pit in the theatre is so small. I can't bring anything other than just an electric. Right. So I had to try and patch like a mandolin and an acoustic, and it sounded okay, but it wasn't great. But
yeah.
But yeah,
it's make do, don't you? Really?
Yeah.
I know. You know what kills me about all that stuff as well? It's like C flat and F flat.
Oh,
I think you sort of theoretically understand why they do, but it's just for us guitar players. It's just a pain in the ass.
And it's, I mean, that coupled with the usual nightmare of how many different positions can I play the same thing in?
Yeah.
It's, but it's good. I mean, it's good. Like, I wish I'd done more reading when I was at ACM, and I wish I'd done more of it since leaving, but we are where we are.
Yeah, exactly. I rely on my memory a lot. I find it takes me quite a long time to get a pad together because I kind of have it 70% memorized, and then just it's there as a security blanket.
Yeah.
But yeah, it's a completely different world to just like, playing in bands and that kind of thing.
Yeah. And you kind of, I don't know about you, I kind of feel like a proper musician when you're there with the dots in front of you and there's someone, you're like, okay, this is, it's different. And it's strange how the other musicians, how they play music or how they learnt music. So like usually like the brass, the string players are like super competent readers. And then when you talk to them about like improvising, it's like, well, maybe not the brass players, but certainly the violin string players are like, no, I don't do that.
Yeah.
It's just I just read the dots and that's it. It's wow.
It's pretty impressive when you see, especially the keyboard players as well, like guys that are like, I mean, they just come in and they'll sight read stuff. You're just thinking, how does your brain process that quickly?
Yeah,
it's crazy, man.
It is.
I know what you mean. It's like I sit Back to the Future. I sit next to a French horn player. I mean, where are you going to get to do that in the world of rock and roll? So so you're right. I do feel I feel sometimes like a bit of an imposter, but I also feel quite satisfied when I get to the end and I've done a decent job. So
yeah, I mean, I think that somebody said to me, it's like, well, they've employed a guitar player, so you should approach it like a guitar player. You shouldn't be approaching it like a classical musician, because if that's what they wanted, that's what they would have written. If they want a rock and roll, especially Back to the Future,
yeah,
there must be so many rock and roll tunes in there, which gives you a bit of freedom to do your come off pad a little bit.
Absolutely. There's some Huey Lewis tunes in there. So yeah, no, absolutely. You get a few moments here and there to kind of just improvise, do your own things. But the thing I find kind of interesting is some of the inversions written. Like, especially in that pad, they're so high up the neck and they're really tiny, like 3-note inversions, way up by the 15th, 16th, 17th fret.
Yeah.
So it's not what you would usually play. And it took a while to hear it, so you could actually make it sound good. But, you always get there and you just got to stick with it, don't you?
Yeah, I think there's a lot of the pads that I was given, particularly it was Grease, and the guitar parts is just left-hand keyboard parts. You're like, well, that's not how I would play that. You can't play that. Yeah. So it's it's a challenge. And somebody else said, just use the pad as a skeleton and then just do guitar stuff over the top, because that's really what they want.
Absolutely.
Yeah. So let's chat about, like, I know you've done a lot of the work with Bruce Dickinson, Alice Cooper, but how did you get into music? What was your in?
So I started listening to music when I was 12, and I was listening to things like Kiss albums, Rush albums, Led Zeppelin, early Queen, all that kind of stuff. And it had a big impact on me. And funnily enough, I wanted to be a drummer first because of Neil Peart and Rush. My parents just flatly refused to get me a drum kit.
Yeah.
So guitar was the next thing.
That was the next,
yeah. Have a guitar, please. And when I was kind of just doing it and not doing it very well, to be honest with you. I had some acoustic with really high action, and it wasn't really getting anywhere. And I had a teacher. The first teacher I had, he wasn't a great teacher. But then I got lucky. I actually found another teacher who was brilliant. I took lessons with him right until I left Sudbury, my hometown. But for me, it was just kind of something I was doing for fun until I saw a TV program with a band who came, and funny enough, they were playing Wembley Arena in London.
Yeah.
Called Ep.49, a Canadian band. And it just hit me kind of like a lightning bolt. I thought, that's like the best job ever.
Yeah.
And I just decided, okay, this is what I'm going to do. I don't care what it takes. I will do whatever is required. So I just started practicing like a madman, like 8 hours a day.
Yeah.
I decided I wasn't going to go to university. I was going to move to Toronto, which was kind of like, be our version of moving to London.
Yeah.
And I was going to just figure it out. So that was me. I was 15 when I sort of had that epiphany, I guess you'd sort of say. So I moved to Toronto, played in loads of cover bands, did all kinds of stuff, then moved down to LA after being there for about 3.5 years. I think it was 22. I moved to LA. I went to GIT, brilliant school. I was there for a year. And then, just the biggest lucky break on the planet. I'd only been at a GIT, I think, about April, May, June, July, August, 6 months.
Yeah.
And I just had a chance to be in an Alice Cooper video, playing bass, funny enough.
Right.
They just wanted people to mime who had long hair. So there I was, you know what I mean?
Yeah.
And got paid $100, and that was the end of that. And got a call maybe, a little while, a month later, we're going to do release another single. So I was in another video, Bed of Nails. And at that video shoot, he said, why don't you come and audition to be in the band as a guitar player? And I did, and I got the gig. So it was very much kind of like dream come true.
Yeah.
And very much rags to riches. I was sleeping on people's floors, you know what I mean? Yeah. But that was the beginning. So once I did that, they did a world tour. It was really successful as well. He was kind of riding a high then. It was when Poison was that whole thrash album.
Yeah.
And everything's kind of stemmed from that, I went back, did a second tour with Alice for the next album. That's where I met the Almighty. And that's what brought me to the UK.
Yeah.
So, I moved here in 92. And it was from the Almighty being managed by Iron Maiden's management company. So I met the guys in Bruce Dickinson's band. And then when they needed the guitar player, they said, why don't you get this guy? That's kind of, and it's funny how it does kind of open doors, because like the West End stuff.
Yeah.
The first one I did was Rock of Ages, which is kind of like you're on stage, you're not really in the pit reading. Yeah. So it kind of suited. And just because I think of the Alice Cooper connection, the MD seemed to take, kind of he sort of took a bit of a shine to me, and he was the one who got me into the Sunday afternoon musical. And again, it was like very much a rock and roll thing.
Yeah.
So, and then here we are.
Yeah, and that brings us up to today. And it's I remember you saying it was one of our lessons because somebody was talking about. I think you might have told that story about how you got the Alice Cooper gig, and somebody must have mentioned or said something like that was just luck. And I'll never forget it. It's like, yes, it was luck, but I needed the chops to do it. I needed the skills to do it. Otherwise, I would have got into the door and I never would have got the gig.
Yeah.
So when an opportunity turns up, you've got to be fucking ready.
Absolutely. Well, that's saying, isn't it? It's funny. It sounds cheesy, but it was like my mantra at the time. It was luck is when preparation meets opportunity.
Yeah.
Work hard and be ready because you never know when it's going to happen, and you got to seize the day, really.
Yeah, and you mentioned practicing 8 hours a day. What was your 8-hour schedule? What did it look like?
Well, it was really boring. I didn't really know any better. I mean, it's like we can actually. I love the theme of your podcast, the getting better things, spiritually, all that. It's very interesting because it's changed massively now. And if I knew now,
my big question to everybody is, what does it mean to you and how's it changed? But if we just delve onto practice and what was your practice like?
So I was
at 15
practicing every scale pattern in 5 positions and loads of keys. I was practicing arpeggios. I was doing metronome work, trying to get faster. I was like almost psychotically organized. I actually would write out on paper. So I'd spend 2 hours doing that.
Okay.
1 hour, trying to improvise and write licks. 2 hours learning Black Sabbath and Judas Priest songs.
Right.
And then maybe 2 hours practicing classical guitar because I started taking that after a little while as well. So it was a combination of trying technique practice and sort of fretboard awareness, like trying to learn all the scales and the chords and all that stuff. Trying to work on improvising and trying to learn licks, like vocabulary, learn songs. I was obsessed with learning songs. It's like the Iron Maiden Peace of Mind album. I learned like every harmony, every song, every solo, except for one. I fell short. Finally, after the one song left, I think I just ran out of steam.
Just burnt out.
Yeah. So, I was listening to Hendrix. I was listening to Sabbath. I was listening to Love Deep Purple, Richie Blackmore.
Yeah.
Who else? Judas Priest. Randy Rhoads was massive. Rush. I can forget Rush. Rush was probably like the big one for me when I was growing up because, in Canada, they were gods.
Yeah.
So that's what it was. And, eventually I started, just before I left home, I started playing cover bands. So there was a lot of like learning songs to try and play them in the band, that kind of thing.
Yeah.
But I think I wasted a lot of time needlessly running up and down scales. I think I could have been more, sort of specific. And I remember trying to learn eruption and just failing miserably, just getting so depressed because I just hit a wall. I'm sure if I knew better now, or then what I know now, I could have troubleshooted that and be a bit more specific and broken through that.
Yeah.
I mean, as a result, I've never been a shredder. You know what I mean? I just can't seem to break that light speed barrier with the picking hand. It's all legato with me. Anyway.
Yeah. Yeah. I mean, that was what I was going to ask. Like, if you had to go back and do it differently, was there anything you'd change?
Yeah, I would have spent far less time just on sort of mindless motor skills and been much more specific about troubleshooting. Okay, well, why does my picking hand why can I get it up to speed of the things I'm hearing on records? And I would have, even if I had to go seek advice, whatever I would have had to do. And I would have almost been like, instead of like a general, sort of shooting bullets everywhere, I would have like a laser point of, okay, this is what you need to work on. And just concentrate on that. Yeah.
And do you still work on things like classical?
No, I don't. It's, I mean, you're a parent. Time is just so difficult to.
It just disappears, doesn't it?
It vanishes, man. And the interesting thing as well is that so much of your time now is taken up by learning stuff to work.
Yeah.
Which in some ways doesn't really make you get better. I mean, it's just increasing the stuff you have in your memory banks.
Yeah.
But I know, okay, we were just talking about the West End and learning pads and that kind of stuff. Of course you get better doing that. You get more experience, and the more time you see a certain thing, like the key of A flat, it's not so horrendous anymore. But Yeah, so I don't. I've had to really prioritize, and as much as I love listening to people play classical guitar, I'm not passionate about it enough to spend time on it.
Yeah.
There's other things that I love doing.
Yeah.
So
I mean, I think certainly classical, definitely flamenco guitar is just two areas that I'm not gonna bother with.
I still fake it after on Mrs. Doubtfire. It's a flamenco tune, and I just like the biggest blagger on earth. You know what I mean? All the things with the fingers. I'm kind of not really doing that.
I would kind of hold it in my hand like a fist and just each finger drop. That's as good as I can do.
I sit beside a guy who's so good at it as well, because we do it together, and he's doing all these fancy kind of rake and flourishes and stuff. And I'm just sitting there like the poor cousin.
And so, like, if we talk about getting better, what does getting better mean to you today, and how has it changed over the years?
Okay, so, I mean, for me, I still bemoan my technique. You know, it's like, for me, do you know who Marcus King is?
Level 42.
No, that's Mark King. Marcus King, the young kid from where's he from? He's not from Texas. He's a blues rock guy. He's the new guy.
Right. And okay.
He's like, I like his type of technique, because it kind of sounds like it's like that Stevie Ray thing, you know, where the really fluid blues runs. But he's kind of taken it somewhere new. I mean, he's outstanding. Check it out. There's an album called Soul Insight. Trust me, just go get that album and listen to this kid play. He's that young. He's like 26 or something like that still. And he's been playing that since he's like 18. Okay. Anyways, I keep meaning to spend time to get better at that. So not speed picking, like, you know, a John Petrucci thing, but that blues, slippery, pentatonic-y bit of blues scale. But for me, the main thing that matters to me right now is phrasing, and just being able to make the guitar sort of say something that is memorable. Like, you know, Mike Campbell from Tom Petty and the Heartbreakers, all those guitar parts. I mean, he's playing the simplest stuff, but it's really, really sticks in your head. I love that. So that, and just trying to get the best tone, you know, like if you can get with what you've got, your pedals, your amp, and your guitar, and just the way you touch and your hands and stuff, get a tone that just resonates and sounds, you know, gets you inside. It's like, what do you call it? What's the word? I can't think of it right now. Anyways, but yeah, phrasing and tone and just vocabulary of ideas, so that I don't run out of ideas. To me, that's getting better. I'm forever working on that.
Yeah. I mean, it's funny you say that. When I was dialing in my line 6 for Legally Blonde, I was like, I'm trying to find this tone. I just want a really nice, round, clean tone that I can then just run some pedals into it, and then I'll be happy. And I pulled out. I've got this old Fender amp that's down here, and I was like, I haven't used it certainly since like lockdown, and just got it in, plugged the guitar into it, flicked it on. I was like, burp, that's the tone that I've been looking for. Just a strat, neck position straight into a Fender amp. I was like, okay, that's what it is. That's what I'm looking for.
Yeah.
I don't know. It's something about it just makes you just play differently.
I couldn't agree more.
It just sings a little better. It chimes a little nicer.
Yeah.
And which I don't think modelers, I mean, I haven't got any of I know I've seen some of the Fractal F9 modelers. People rave about them. I haven't tried them, but certainly the ones that I've tried, it's like, it doesn't have that chime of an amp.
It's the ongoing debate, isn't it? It's like, I mean, all the pits I played in, people are using the Kempers, and they do great jobs of programming and stuff. You know, the sounds are good, but for me, it just doesn't excite me. Well, I've got a lovely Cornell amp just sitting behind me here. 15-watt kind of posh Vox copy. And when I plug my guitar into that amp and just strike that first chord, I just get that. I mean, I love it. You know what I mean? I have unnatural feelings for this guitar amp. And then, you know, I've got a really nice old full drive 2 pedal, and I use that, and it's just, you know, I got a Les Paul P90s, and I'm like, yes, that is why I started playing guitar. It just, and it's like another thing that we have to do, like programming modelers. It's now part of the job. It's like it takes so fucking long, doesn't it?
And it's just, it doesn't sound as good. It doesn't feel as good.
I'll tell you what, I was saying, I did actually a gig last week with a guy called Colin McDonald, who's killer guitar player. He plays for all kinds of people now, but he had some like new delay pedal on, and he was really pissed off after the gig is it was like you just couldn't get it to kind of do what he wanted to do.
Yeah.
And I was just joking. I was saying it's like all this stuff is a full-time job. On top of the playing, it's all the effects, the modelers, whatever, trying to get just navigate this stuff.
Yeah.
And you're right. It's just so time-consuming.
Yeah. Well, people now sell patches online. Like here's a stereo rig, Marshall 4x12 cab with a few pedals in front. It's £5. It's like, do you know what? There you go. I've just saved myself an hour and it's cost me £5.
Yeah, yeah.
And a lot of there's no more YouTube searching. How do I get the fucking? And you got to route it all as well. It is, man. It's a full-time job. I did it once, and now I just copy and paste. It's like, right, I have a different show, right? I'll just copy and paste it, and But even that, it's just like building a pedal board's quite fun.
Yes, you're right.
I like building a pedal board.
Yeah.
I've got a little one down here which I'm going to use for the studio. I'm just waiting for a power supply. I'm like, I'm quite happy with that. Yeah, and that was 90 minutes of like unplugging cables and stuff.
Yeah.
It's the same thing, but there's something. I mean, it's the same as patching in a Helix or a Kemper, but you've got the fucking things in your hand.
Physical, yeah.
Yeah, and it's just nice. Like different pedals will do different things, and it's.
I mean, I'm quite infantile. I just like all the colors too.
Yes,
it looks so pretty.
The one I did for Legally Blonde was all black pedals. I hadn't planned it. It was like there's the Line 6. I got the Steve Lukather dual overdrive pedal, which is like a very dark blue.
Yeah, and
then I've got there's a patch button which is also black. My delay pedal, my reverb pedal is jet black, and it's like everything's. It's all black. It looks pretty cool. I mean, if you're working in a pit and everything's black, it's like, okay.
Yeah.
That's all right. So, it's, I just find them more, this is more fun.
Yeah, exactly.
It's more fun.
I mean, I have to confess, I don't actually own a modeler.
I
keep meaning to buy one because, for certain jobs it's required, but I haven't gotten around to it yet. So
yeah, I kind of did it reluctantly, and it's just easier for pack down. Like when you
finish
a gig, you just pick it up and you're gone, you're out. It's like I remember doing a gig with a trumpet player, and he brought his bag out on stage. Why have you brought your bag out on stage? And we literally got to the end of the last tune, and he went, zip, zip. I'm off. See you later, guys. So it's like,
no,
shit.
No. Some of them are putting their coats on while they're No, I know.
Yeah.
So, I mean, for me, it's like with going back to the time thing, I have to be very specific about how I practice too. So I will try and put myself in situations like this cover band I was talking about. It does classic rock and blues because that's what I love and that's what I want to get better at. So I put myself in a position where I have to learn that stuff. So I'm killing two birds with one stone.
Yeah.
And, it's like, then the other side of the thing is recording, being good at recording and stuff. So I will literally, write my own stuff that is genre specific. So, I'm actually practicing the way I want to play with the stuff I'm writing.
Yeah.
As opposed to I used to do library music where I tried to write to a brief, but I wasn't making a great deal of money at it. And to be honest with you, while it was quite fun to hear some of the stuff I would be able to do, I was like, wow, that's, I never thought I could have come up with that in a million years. I mean, I just want to write stuff I like, really, at the end of the day.
Yeah. Yeah. And, so, you said that you studied at GIT. How do you think music education has changed between when you did GIT and what you're teaching at the ACM today?
It's changed a lot. I mean, it's much more academic now. The reason I went to GIT and didn't go to get a music degree is because I didn't want to do anything else except play guitar. I didn't want to write essays. I didn't want to do anything. All I wanted to do was play guitar all day long. GIT, that's what it was. There was literally no other classes you'd have a theory class, but you'd have a guitar in your hand. Yeah. And there was like a songwriting class, but it was all, like literally from the moment you walked in that door, the guitar never left your hands. And I love that. Now, because of various, I think, sort of a lot of these schools are affiliated with a college and stuff, and they have guidelines about, to award a diploma. Yeah. There's for certain things that need to happen. Like, there's the projects, there's a lot of, they need to have, how can I put it? There's planning and research, self-critique. They got a critical evaluation. They got to evaluate themselves at the end. So there's a lot of writing that kind of stuff. Yeah. And I kind of get it because you're kind of trying to set these kids up to be able to cope with real life when they leave school. Whereas, I think I left GIT, and it's a good thing I kind of made a living at the guitar, because I'd be kind of in trouble if I had managed to do that, because I just literally have no other skills.
Yeah.
So to me, that's the way music education has changed, is that it's more rounded and there's more academic content. And as well, I'm like 59, right? So back then, that was 1988. The music industry has changed. So, I mean, now it's like, there's all the sort of social media, it's like sort of marketing yourself on things like Instagram, TikTok, whatever. There's all that kind of side of it now.
Yeah.
And I feel that a lot of the artists, it's almost like the old school thing of bands seems to be not so much anymore. I mean, I watched Glastonbury, and there's loads of singers that were just singing the backing tracks.
Yeah.
I mean, that's crazy.
I know. We saw Dua Lipa, and I'm like, okay, there's a band on stage. Like, how much of that is to track? Because it sounds so clean. It doesn't sound like the drums alone sound programmed. Yeah, maybe he's playing over the top, and they're bringing him. He's ducking them under. I don't know, but
could be. That sounds.
I mean, I thought that would be really interesting to see a live band perform her songs live. I thought, let's see how they do it. But it's, I don't know. Maybe there's an element of people are paying $300-400 quid a ticket. I don't know what a weekend ticket for Glastonbury is. Yeah, it has to be perfect.
Yeah, I think you hit the nail on the head there. I think that they want that polished sound like the album. Yeah, and because things are so produced now, if you just rock up with like a 5-piece band, acoustic drum stuff, it's not going to sound the same at all. Yeah. I mean, that gets back to, I try and position myself playing music and listening to music that would sound good like that. Like Derek Trucks band. Tedeschi Trucks. You know that band?
Yeah.
I mean, that band's going to sound incredible no matter where. They could just be sitting in your living room. Yeah, it's going to sound amazing.
Yeah,
that's what I like.
Yes, I know. I recently got into. I mean, I listened to them a little bit. Did you ever listen to Alison Krauss, Union Station?
Yeah. Not that album, but that woman's goddess. Yeah, absolutely.
There's a live album that they did 2001. I think it's the Louisville Theatre or something like that. It's just, it sounds as good as the record. Yeah. It's even though some of the lines are a little different, some of the phrasing's a little different. It sounds as good as the record.
Those people have deep skills, you know what I mean? That's why I love Robert Plant's band now. And he's got all these guys from, I don't know where they're from. I think they're from the States, Nashville and stuff. But the guitar players are just quirky and like really cool. Like they're playing like proper sort of swampy rockabilly stuff. And he'll do rock and roll, but it won't be Led Zeppelin's version. It'll be some crazy weird country hillbilly thing. Yeah, and it's just well done.
Yeah, I think the musicianship is just outstanding on both of those.
Absolutely.
I mean, that album he did with Alison Krauss, we saw him live at, I think it was Wembley, and it was the same thing, like just fucking outstanding. Yeah. But that's the good, like the visceral point of going to see a live band is you get to see it slightly different. It's slightly quirky. Yeah.
That's the word I was trying to come across earlier. Visceral.
Yeah.
It's you inside. Yeah.
It's but it's cool. And so, how's the ACM over since 2003?
It's changed a lot.
I did a walkthrough with Rob Harrell.
Oh, cool! Yeah,
he brought me. I didn't realize that you were still there.
He's teaching there now.
And so we had a little walk round. We saw some of the old rooms. The Adam Payne was there. We had a quick chat with him. I haven't seen him for a while. And I tell you what, it struck me that it needs a lick of paint.
Yes. Yeah.
There's like gaffer tape holding things together, and and I think when I was there, that building was brand new. I think maybe even a year old.
That was the very beginning of that Robber building.
Yeah.
There's more buildings now. So I mean, there's one across the road. The offices, they've got things going on in there. He's got one in. It's a different guy that owns it now. So, but he's got one in London. He's got one up in Birmingham. Just opened up something in Brixton. Yeah. But there is that. There's.
Yeah. So how is it? How's the coursework changed? Because you're saying that GIT at the end of the 80s, it was just playing guitar. That's all we did. We didn't have any assignments. We didn't have any essays to write. It was just playing.
So there's, yes, I mean, kind of sadly, there is only a few instrument specific classes. Like they'll have one class where, you used to have session styles and all that kind of stuff in technical development. Yeah. So I've been enrolled into one class now just called instrumental studies. So That's the one where they learn about like, scales, chords, genres, how to use it, how to put it all together. There's a class to learn the song each week, and then a class to perform it, like the old LPW.
Yeah.
And then there's a theory class, which I teach theory. I try to make it specific to the instruments. I teach guitar players in one class, and then bassists and keyboards in the other one.
Yeah.
And then beyond that, it's a lot of kind of like collaboration classes where they'll be given a kind of a project to do together. I mean, they're all music based, but I mean, I teach one class is like software skills, so it's kind of like teaching them how to use all the Google things,
right?
There's that kind of stuff.
Okay.
And again, I can't argue with that because it's life skills, and you do feel for them. You want them to be able to come out and write a resume and get a job if they have to.
Yeah. So, how do you think? What do you think the skill level's the right word, but the level of students that you're putting out today versus 20 years ago, has it changed? Do you think they're coming out better, worse, the same, different?
Definitely different. I think that because now, kind of what you do and kind of, I guess, what I do, there's a handful of guys, because you need to be really on point to do that. Do you know what I mean? It's like, so there's always going to be a handful of guys that are really studious and just kill it.
Yeah.
There's like a handful of them come out every year and you're thinking, okay, yeah, absolutely.
Yeah.
Then a lot of them are just, they're going to want to form like original bands. So they're not so concerned about the technical aspects of being an all-round musician. Yeah. They're kind of there to have fun, and they want to write their own music and play festivals and basically go down the original band route. So I think there's more of that now. Okay. And less of the guys coming out that are just kind of really well-rounded. And, I could just see you called me up, do you know a guitar player? I'd be like, okay, yeah, try this kid. He's good. Yeah. There's less of that now.
Right. Okay. Because I remember, I think I called you up about 4 years after I'd left, and I said I need some depths, and you just sent me a list of names.
Did I? Okay.
Yeah. Toby
cool.
James. Do you remember Toby James?
Yes.
Yeah, it was him. I think there was one other, but that guy kind of just fell off the cliff.
Oh, okay.
But yeah, it was. It was. I mean, I enjoyed my time there, and I thought I learned a lot. But I didn't go in with the expectation that I would come out with like a session gig. And I think there was a lot of people who'd signed up for classes that were like, "Oh, as soon as I leave, I'm getting either a record deal, or I'm going to land a huge session job."
Yeah.
And I think there was a lot of people that were quite disappointed. It was like, okay, well, here you go. There you go. Like, well, wait, we haven't done the thing yet. Yeah, you got to do it on your own.
That is it, isn't it? I mean, being a professional musician is just hard. To this day for me. I mean, it's just, it can be so exhausting sometimes. And I think that they leave that out because obviously you don't want to kill these young people's spirit and push them too much. But you're right. It's like, the whole thing about the whole session musician thing, it does exist, but it's pretty, because I know guys that are out there doing it, but it's quite a closed society. There's not that many of them. Yeah. And it's pretty ninja, you know what I mean?
Yeah.
And then as far as the record deal thing, well, you know that it's like that, there are record deals out there, but sometimes having a record deal, you'll have your little moment in the sun and then it's just gone.
Yeah.
Oh, and then, then there's the very incredibly rare thing where like, suddenly you have a band that just has longevity and they just album after album. But that's like, you're talking about winning the lottery there.
Yeah. And so I was going to ask you, do you enjoy teaching at the ACM, or do you enjoy teaching?
I do. And John, this is one of the other things I guess I was going to say about getting better is that in a sort of selfish way, I use teaching to get better. A lot of times I will gravitate my students to the stuff that I like.
Yeah.
Within reason, obviously. And so, like, for example, I do, I had to do a workshop at ACM. So what do you want to do it on? I'm not going to do it on, pop music or like sight reading because it just doesn't excite me. So I did it on classic rock, and so we do like Led Zeppelin tunes.
Yeah.
So, like I'm learning a song like Ramble On by Led Zeppelin, which I love, and it's making me better because I'm actually kind of go, God, is that how we did it? That's amazing.
Yeah.
So yes, I do. And, I've got private students, same thing. I kind of gravitate towards middle-aged guys, but like the same kind of music as me, not, little Johnny who wants to learn D and G. Nothing wrong with that at all.
Yeah.
But like I said, I don't have much time. So, today I had a guy in here, and you know Chris Buck. You must know Chris Buck. Yeah. He's got a book. He's going through Chris Buck solos. So we're like, playing along the backing tracks, and you're just showing him kind of, little things that I kind of do, and we're looking at the things that Chris Buck does, and Chris Buckisms we call them. That little, that wiggle he does on the bend.
Yeah.
It's like it's a thing, isn't it?
I mean, I actually spoke to him probably about a year ago, and he said he was up for coming on here, and I just haven't been able to get a response from him in the last year.
Yeah.
But he's kind of gone from that. He's just done this.
Yeah.
And so it just gets lost in a sea of Instagram messages, I'm sure.
Yeah.
But he's one of those players that is just his playing is very vocal. Yes. It doesn't. It's like listening to a sax player. It's like you're not phrasing it the way that most guitar players do, and it's just so lovely to listen to.
Yeah.
And he seems like a really cool guy as well.
He does, doesn't he? Yeah. Absolutely.
And I think there's less of that these days. Like the Instagram guitar players, it seems to be like just super hyper technique, and as you listen to it, like, Jesus fucking Christ,
calm down.
How do you? But if people are coming in, they're learning that, like, the base level these days is kind of Joe Satriani, and we go up from there. Whereas when I started, the base level was like, I don't know, say end of the 90s, it was like Noel Gallagher, and we go up from that. So, and the amount of information, the amount of lessons that are available for free, like, people must just get so quick, so good, so quickly.
Yeah.
Because they're just like, if you want to learn to alternate pick, because like there's 1,000 videos that you can go through. You want to learn sweep picking, arpeggios, all the legato stuff.
Yeah.
All of these lessons are available for free, or you can short courses from some of the best in the world are available.
Yeah.
Which, I don't know, I guess we had those rock school RHS videos.
Yes, so yeah.
Didn't we? So maybe it's not as different. But maybe the like it's easier to get to.
It's more accessible, absolutely.
Accessible, that's the word I was looking for.
Back in my day, you were like lifting a needle off a vinyl and trying to get back from that way. I mean, that was like brutal. Can you imagine trying to learn an Iron Maiden solo that way? You know what I mean? No.
Fucking hell, yeah.
Yeah, but I tell you what, and this is something I struggle with, is that there's so much of it, it's easy to get distracted. Yeah. I'm trying to work on something. There's that bloody sidebar on YouTube. You think, that looks good. Next thing you know, you're wasting an hour just looking at stuff that's just not going to do you any good.
Yeah.
So, I think one advice I'd have to people is just be really methodical and stay focused. If you have an hour to practice, choose something. Just do it. Don't go off and start watching,
Yeah.
Sort of.
Yeah, I know, going down the YouTube rabbit hole.
Yeah, exactly.
It's and so what's I had the question and it's just disappeared. What do you think needs to be taught but isn't being taught, either in schools or colleges or on YouTube?
That's a hell of a question. Well, it's kind of music. This is going to sound really mean and bitchy, but it's like musicality.
Yeah.
I mean, I don't mean that as a diss at all. I mean, everybody's so focused on, like, like you said, kind of getting good fast and being fast and so many notes and stuff. It's just, but there are people that are teaching tone and teaching phrasing, because, I see the videos and stuff, but I think there's some stuff that it's almost like you're never going to learn it from YouTube or a lesson. It's like, I mean, for me, you get better by doing, and I'm sure you've figured this out too. It's like, get your information from your videos and get, the sort of geography of the guitar together, get the vocabulary. But the real way to get good and to be musical in the moment is you just have to get out and gig or go to jam nights. You have to be in a room with other people doing it in real time.
Yeah.
So I think, I think people get bored by like simple things. And I think that's the problem.
Yeah.
It's like, there's a little intro solo to Refugee, Tom Petty's song. Best lick ever. You can sing it. It's, Mike Campbell, one of my absolute heroes. And everyone can play that lick, you know, you could show a kid who's only been playing, a month, and he probably figure it out but it's just that extra bit of magic about expressing it. You know what I mean? It's like, it's one thing to play it, and it's the other thing to just sell it so much that the person stops dead in their tracks. And for that moment, they're taken away by that idea you've imparted.
Yeah. I think on that note, I'm going to call it a day. Mate, I know my children are running in from school any minute now, and it's just, life revolves around them.
Oh, I know. I hear you, mate.
It was so cool to catch up and have a chat.
You too, mate. It's very nice to see you. And like I said, I like the whole idea of this. It's a great topic.
It's cool. All right, cool. Thank you.
Okay. Take care, mate.